There was a time I believed teaching could change the world. A time when every new school year felt like a blank page, full of promise. But after years of budget cuts, endless parent complaints, and the relentless chaos of an underfunded system, I wasn't so sure anymore. I'd look at the bright, hopeful faces in old photos from my first class, and all I could feel was a profound sense of exhaustion. The energy I once had, the fire that drove me, had dwindled to a flicker. People would tell me, "Clara, don't take it so personally." But how could I not? These weren't just students. They were stories waiting to be written. The laughter echoing in the hallways used to sound like music. Now, it just felt like a reminder of a song I could no longer sing. The resignation letter sat on my desk, a testament to my defeat. It was time to walk away. Friday morning arrived, gray and unforgiving, just like all the other days that week. But sitting on my desk, almost lost amongst the piles of ungraded papers, was a small, crumpled piece of paper. It was a note, unsigned. It simply said, "You're the only one who believes in me." Just 11 words. I read it once, then twice, my vision blurring. I looked up at the noisy, chaotic classroom, searching every face. Who could have written this? Was it Jaden, the class clown who used comedy to hide his fear of failing? Or Maria, the quiet artist who struggled to find her voice in a new language? That single sentence, that small act of anonymous courage, was like a spark in the dark. It was a whisper that drowned out all the noise telling me to quit. That night, under the soft glow of my desk lamp, I held the note again. Maybe, just maybe, it'd stay a little longer. For them, for the one who was still listening. With a renewed sense of purpose, I decided to do something. If the system wouldn't provide, I would. I started a lunch reading club. We had zero funding, no official approval, just a corner of the cafeteria and a stack of old, well-loved books from my own shelves. I taped the torn spines together and started reading aloud to anyone who would stay and listen. At first, it was just a few. There was Jaden, who I suspected was only there for the free snacks I brought. Maria would sit in the corner, sketching in her notebook while she listened. And then there was Tyler, a kid who was suspended more often than he was in class, but who, I discovered, secretly loved stories. It wasn't perfect. The lights flickered, we ran on borrowed time, and I got more than one warning about using non-approved materials. But in that little club, something magical happened. The kids started to open up. They laughed. They argued about characters. They bonded over shared worlds built from torn pages. We weren't just a club. We were a tiny, resilient family, built on stories and a few small miracles. Just when I thought we were building something real, the ground fell out from under me. The district announced another round of major layoffs. My position was on the list. The reading club, the progress, the fragile hope we'd built, it was all about to be erased. I tried to hide the news from my students, to shield them from the disappointment, to keep our little world intact for as long as I could. People always said I cared too much, that I got too involved. Maybe they were right. Maybe that was my flaw. Then one afternoon, a fight broke out in the hallway. Jaden and another student, tension spilling over. I stepped between them without thinking. It all happened so fast. One moment I was trying to de-escalate. The next, there was a sharp pain and the world went hazy. Lying in the stark white of the hospital room, I felt that familiar wave of defeat wash over me. But as I reached for my bag, my fingers brushed against that same crumpled note. Its words now faded. A weak smile touched my lips. If caring too much was the price, then so be it. Because if I stopped caring, what would be left? After I recovered, I wasn't an employee of the district anymore, but I couldn't stay away. I returned as a community volunteer. The news of what happened and why had spread. Parents who had once complained now offered to help. Former students came back to support the program. The lunch reading club transformed into an official after-school program, thriving on community spirit. It was beautiful to watch. My kids weren't just readers anymore. They were leaders. They started reading to the younger children. Maria, no longer silent, painted vibrant, joyful murals on the old classroom walls, filling them with color and life. Jaden, the boy who hid behind jokes, found his confidence and won the district essay contest. And Tyler, The boy everyone had written off found his voice in poetry, getting his work published in a local paper. I no longer had a formal classroom or a salary, but walking through those halls, seeing the legacy of what we started, I realized I had something far more valuable. I had a purpose, and that was more than enough. 10 years. It's funny how time can feel like a blur and an eternity all at once. I'm in a packed auditorium, the lights bright, the air buzzing with excitement. A young man walks to the podium. He's confident, poised. It's Tyler. Behind him, a massive screen projects the cover of his new book, a national bestseller. The title makes my breath catch in my throat. The Teacher Who Believed. He looks out at the crowd, and his voice, once hesitant, now rings with conviction. I wrote this, he says, for the woman who saved me before I even knew I needed saving. His eyes find mine in the crowd. I'm older now, my hair streaked with more gray, but in that moment, I feel like that young, hopeful teacher all over again. Tears glisten in my eyes as the audience rises to their feet. I finally understood. Sometimes, greatness doesn't need to shout from the rooftops. Sometimes, its echo is softer, a quiet whisper that travels through the lives we are fortunate enough to touch. Thank you so much for watching this story from Echoes of Greatness. If a special teacher once made a difference in your life, we'd love for you to share a heart in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that inspire. We'll see you next time.